40 minutes after the hour, look at what happened in the state of Indiana, where Mike Pence easily won his sixth consecutive term in office. He beat the Democratic challenger Barry Welsh handily, 67 to 30%. No question as to whether or not Mike Pence is going to be going back to Congress. One open question, though, is he going to stay in Congress? One of the things that we'll ask him as Mike Pence joins us this morning from Indianapolis. Congressman, congratulations on your win last night. Good to see you.
Thank you, John. We're very grateful to the people of Eastern Indiana for the opportunity to serve again, and it's good to be with you this morning.
You said of the results of the election last night, quote, Republicans have been given a second chance. Is there going to be real pressure on you now in the coming months to deliver?
Well, I think so, but I have to tell you, I think that the message coming out of last night's historic election is that the American people want to see an end to this era of runaway federal spending under both political parties. They want to see an end to bailouts and government takeovers. And they want to see our national government turn back in the direction of fiscal responsibility, personal responsibility, and limited government. And Republicans are going to roll our sleeves up and do everything in our power to be worthy of this second chance the American people have given us.
I think that there's also a very loud message that was sent yesterday that the American people want to see something get done. They're tired of gridlock. They're tired of hyper-partisanship. They're tired of bickering. They're tired of the zero-sum game in Washington. So can you say with commitment today that the House is going to work with Democrats in the Senate to actually get things done in the next 2 years, and that this is not just going to be some grand run-up to the 2012 election?
Well, look, anytime there's an opportunity for authentic agreement, authentic common ground, I can assure you that House Republicans won't let partisan politics stand in the way of reaching real agreement. But I got to tell you, John, I don't think the message last night is that the American people want Congress to get along better with the administration. I think Congress has been getting along just fine with the administration. I don't think the message is that they want Congress to get stuff done. I think they want to get a lot undone. I think they want to end the borrowing, the spending, the bailouts, the takeovers. House Republicans are determined to do everything in our power to repeal Obamacare, lock, stock, and barrel. We just have to get back to what we know works, which is allowing the American people to keep more of their money and enforcing real fiscal discipline and reform in the long term to put our fiscal house in order.
On the subject of health care, and I know that Republicans want to undo a lot of what the President and the Democratic Congress did in the last couple of years. Senator Harry Reid told us just a little while ago that he would be open to some, as he called it, tweaking of the health care bill. Now, we don't know if he was talking about changing the font on the identification cards as a tweak or if he was talking about something more substantial, but do you believe you'll be able to work with the Senate Majority Leader and Democrats in the Senate to make some substantial changes to health care as you would like to see them done?
Well, look, the substantial change to Obamacare the American people voted for last night is repeal and start over. The American people don't want to be mandated to purchase health insurance whether they want it or need it or not. They don't want all the new taxes that come with it. Look, Obamacare was roundly rejected last night by the American people. We need to rip it up root and branch. And House Republicans are determined to do that. But we're also, John, determined to replace their government takeover of health care with the kind of health care reforms that will lower the cost of health insurance without growing the size of government. We can do that by giving people more choices, purchase health insurance across state lines, pass medical malpractice reform, cover pre-existing conditions with the savings that we'll realize from the malpractice reform. But the American people rejected their government takeover of health care last night, and House Republicans are determined to repeal it and replace it.
So the Senate Majority Leader says, okay, I'm open to some tweaking of the bill. You say you want to lift it up roots and all. You don't have a filibuster-proof majority in the Senate to get that passed. The President's got a veto, and you don't have a veto-proof majority to override it. So does that mean then that this is all just going to be talked about for the next 2 years and there won't actually be any changes?
Well, with great respect, John, and I do respect you very much, you're leaving somebody out of the equation. That's the American people. You know, I don't see last night as so much a victory for one political party or another. I see it as a real victory for the American people. And I think the American people are going to stay engaged in this process. They know we can do better on health care reform. They know we can put our fiscal house in order. They know we can get this economy moving again if we go back to time-honored, time-tested American solutions. And that's what Republicans are going to continue to advance. We're going to work hard every day in the 112th Congress to be on the side of the American people.
Congressman Pence, what happens with tax cuts?
Well, look, I think there would be no higher priority for this incoming class of Congress than to make sure that no American sees a tax increase. So are you going to insist? Not one.
Are you going to insist then that the Bush tax cuts stay in place?
Well, you know, that's a good start. What we ought to do is make sure that all the current tax relief stays in place. But obviously, in the worst economy in 25 years, it's clearly not enough to get the economy moving again. So what we need to do is make sure no American sees a tax increase in January, not one, and then look for additional tax relief that will release all the trapped inherent capital and energy in this economy to begin to create jobs. Add into that real fiscal discipline in Washington, D.C., and I'll tell you, out here in Indiana, we know you get government under control, you get government out of the way, this economy will come roaring back.
And I got to ask you this question because you said you were going to wait until after the midterm elections to talk about this. You won the Values Voters Summit not too long ago. We talked to you about that. Are you going to throw your hat in the ring for the 2012 presidential chase? Or at the very least, are you going to take a good hard look at it?
Well, let me say, the focus of my little family has been exclusively on doing everything in our power to elect a Republican majority to Capitol Hill. We've done that, and starting today, we're gonna try and roll our sleeves up and prayerfully consider where we might be able to also contribute to the life of our state and the life of our nation. But we'll keep you posted, John.
So is that a yes or a maybe?
We're always going to look for where we can make the most difference for what matters most to us. And I know that in the last year, that where we could make the most difference was to come alongside these courageous men and women who are running for Congress all over the country. We've done that, and frankly, we're grateful to these candidates and grateful to the opportunity the American people have given us to lead our nation back to fiscal discipline and limited government.
Okay, so we'll take that as a maybe. Congressman Mike Pence, good to talk to you this morning. Appreciate it.
Thank you, John.